Now, Mark Merowitz is a professor at the State University of New York Maritime College, and he joins me now live from New York. Thank you very much, Mark. It's good to have you here with us on TRT World. Now, we just heard the Finnish president saying that his country is committed to Turkey's security concerns, but a similar statement was not made by the Swedish Prime Minister. Is that an indication that Sweden is not ready to address Turkey's legitimate security concerns?
This is a finished product. Once the United States has said that Finland and Sweden are going to enter NATO, they're going to enter NATO. And I think it's a fait accompli. And it also, I believe, is clear that the concerns that Turkey has expressed will be addressed. I think that was the message that I heard today. Maybe it wasn't out loud. Some of these messages are not always made out loud in public. But that is an inevitable solution because of the urgent situation created by Russia. And the fact of the matter is that Finland and Sweden have said that Russia has become unpredictable. And what we never thought would happen, Finland and Sweden going into NATO, is going to happen. It is inevitable, it is going to happen. At the same time, Turkey's concerns will be addressed in some fashion. I'm sure that's the case. Because the way NATO works is that there are 30 member states, and all 30 have to agree to admit a new member to NATO. So I think they really
Mark,
need to...
if I may, but it does not seem to be happening, at least in Sweden. About 2 days ago, Sweden, the Swedish capital, Stockholm, hosted a meeting which was organized by the so-called political wing of the YPG, which is the Syrian offshoot of the PKK terrorist organization. So it does not seem Sweden is actively working on addressing Turkey's concerns at this point.
Well, again, I'm not privy to all the private discussions and the fact that there was a meeting, and that is the point that has been made. However, the overarching concern here is the Russia-Ukraine situation. And the accession of Finland and Sweden is absolutely essential to hopefully moving forward in resolving the problem of Ukraine. I am confident that what you also heard was that the different ministers were going to talk and there were going to be negotiations and discussions. So one, I think, should be optimistic that this will be resolved. Now, at the same time, I think there are consequences if Turkey pursues this further in terms of its relationship with the United States. I have to be candid about that, and that's my concern. I mean, in other words, it's a fair point. It's been heard loud and clear. It was discussed clearly at the White House by the president, but it is also clear that the 30 states of the NATO organization wish to have Finland and Sweden. By the way, Finland and Sweden are in the EU. They also participate for many years in NATO activities, including the Partnership for Peace. So this is not such a precipitous event. And one might also understand that Sweden and Finland have indicated, I think Sweden in particular, I think Finland as well, that there will be no nuclear weapons placed on their soil. So this is a win-win for everybody, including Turkey as a major
let's
NATO.
put Turkey's opposition to rest for a second here. Now, from the time Sweden and Finland express their willingness to join NATO up until the ratification process is completed, certainly there will be a gray zone. What kind of risks are involved in that period of time? What kind of guarantees do you think NATO countries have to provide Finland and Sweden so that they don't end up like Ukraine?
I think there is very little chance that is going to happen. Finland and even Russia's reaction to Finland and Sweden's possible accession has not been very, very negative. Indeed, even if Finland and Sweden joined NATO, that would not be necessarily perceived by Russia as a threat against Russia. The point is, this is purely a defensive step on the part of Finland and Sweden, and they keep saying...
But Mark, if I may, Finland shares a border of about 1,300 kilometers with Russia.
That's true. But at the same time, keep in mind that Finland already fought a war, the Winter War with the Soviet Union. It repulsed over 700,000 Soviet Russian troops. Finland has 280,000 troops ready for combat and 600,000 reservists, and a call-up procedure for the whole society to defend itself. Russia is not going to do anything to Finland or to Sweden. It is unlikely, nor do I believe will they see this step as an offensive step against Russia. They've already been involved in NATO and NATO operations. So it's not something that, you're right, there is a long border, but that border will be a peace border. It will not be an offensive border. Either way from Russia, certainly towards Finland and Sweden is a little bit more remote. So I don't see that this step is, even in the period where you have application to the actual accession, as being a dangerous situation. The danger is greater for countries like Moldova and others, and in the Baltic as well. But even the Baltic will benefit from this as well.
All right.
Become more peaceful.
Professor Mark Marowitz, it's always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World.
Same here, Jafar. Same here.